everyone, today I'm going to record another video of Fortnite Battle Royale. And today we're going to be talking about map changes and what could happen. Anyways, let's get this. Now, here we have the Fortnite map. I'll zoom in on it. So there's the Fortnite. Now, which areas could be turned into what parts of history, since we are expecting a history theme? Now, I do not have this marked. That's just how the image is. But, yeah. It's just what I could find. Well, I'm not sure about all the areas, but I think Anarchy Acres and Fatal Fields won't have that many changes, since they're already farming areas, and farming's kind of old. They still do it now, but they might have older farming changes. So kind of like farming in like the 1800s, 1900s. So maybe we'll almost like see potato plants there. Oops. And we might have potato plants in Fatal Fields and Anarchy Acres, something like that. As for places like Shifty Shafts, well, slavery during like the 1800s, I think we might see like an underground railroad for this, which if you didn't know, quick history lesson. It's basically a place where they used to try and escape. It was a big tunnel, not a tunnel, but it was like a chain of where they could escape and go to freedom. Not really sure what the soccer field, Greasy Grove, Snobby Shores is going to be. Or Pleasant Park. Haunted Hills. Well, I think that's going to turn into a possible World War II cemetery. Junk Junction, that may turn into maybe possibly like a thing from the Great Depression. Of course, everything's junk and ruins there, so it might be like a Great Depression area. Now the soccer field up here, I don't know what they'll make of that, but yeah. Places like Risky Reels we'll see probably be more formed up, and it'll be like early town or early movie. And I think Risky Reels will actually be better, because I'm sure you guys know a bunch of the stuff there is like kind of torn apart, and I think it'll be more fixed once Season 5 comes out for the history thing, and it'll be like an old movie playing, possibly even. As for Dusty Divot, this actually might be instead of a history. Well, we're talking history, but prehistoric times. Dusty Divot doesn't fit in, and Retail Road doesn't fit in. I mean, I think somewhere like actually Retail Road may fit in, maybe like a early 90s shopping mall kind of area. And just gonna be like an inn. But there's already the motel, so that's kind of like edgy. But somewhere like Salty Springs, I think it'll become like a early town. We know the old truck models are there. They're not like futuristic truck models that you might see now. They're like old trucks there. The trunks are kind of low and all that. Tilted, I think, will become like a major, big, old city. It might become something like castle, too. Well, most probably become like a Greek or Roman city or something like that. We're probably gonna have a castle, which may come in areas such as, the soccer field and all that. Okay, I think this is an old map, so there's no soccer field. But you know, in this area now, there's a soccer field. And motel's still there. Tomato Fountain, I think that'll be in place of Italy, just because of the, the pizzeria thing and all that. I think that's Italy based. So yeah. Now some areas I'm kind of left questioning with: Loot Lake, Snobby Shores, Greasy Grove, Flush Factory, Lucky Landing, Moisty Mire. And now let's talk about the smaller bases. Oh yeah, Dusty Divot, of course. Wailing Woods, of course, yeah. Smaller places. The shipping container yard thing, and the racetrack. Now the racetrack could become like an old F1 thing, or like a old racing thing. I think that's what it's gonna become, most probably. Now in Egypt area, where are we gonna see an Egypt area? That's probably gonna be Dusty Divot, now that I realize it, because of the way the land is kind of built in a weird way. Yeah. Now, everyone thinks a desert map is confirmed. I think that's not gonna happen. It'd just be too big of a change. Before we name some other things that Loot Lake and Pleasant Park and all these other things could become, let's go over what we think. Starting off, we think that Anarchy Acres and Fatal Fields are going to become some old farming areas between the 1800s to 1900s. Risky Reels is probably going to become like a 90s movie, 1980s movie thing, and going to be more rebuilt. Tilted Towers is going to become like a big city, Roman or Greek. Not sure yet. It could be something else, but, you know, probably one of those. A big market too, possibly. Shifty Shafts is going to become a possible underground railroad. Told you history behind that. Haunted Hills could become a World War II cemetery. Young Junction could be an area of the Great Depression. The soccer field could be in Castle, or where the soccer field is now. Tomato Town, I think it'll be Italy-based, whatever history there might be. Racetrack, maybe an old F1 thing. Possible Inn at Lonely Lodge. And I think I've covered all of them. Yeah. Now, places like Lucky Landing, they're pretty obvious. It's gonna be old culture, like even more older, like Chinese, Japanese, whatever. I'm just gonna say Asian. I don't want to be like racist or rude or anything. But yeah, basically, yeah. Lucky Landing could become. Flush Factory. Flush Factory, it could become like, gee, really don't know. Maybe just like an old, like a brick factory possibly. And so might these areas, like all small factories. Yeah. Moisty Mire and Wailing Woods, I'm really confused about them. I don't think they'll even have any changes because, and Snobby Shores and Greasy Grove, because it's like, I mean, maybe like an old burger joint at Greasy Grove, but Snobby Shores I'm not sure about, because it's kind of like a beach area. Same with Loot Lake. Loot Lake, yeah, not really sure. I could think about anything. It could be a pirate theme for Loot Lake. Don't see that happening with Snobby Shores. That's kind of weird. I mean, Snobby Shores is like a rich, organized area, sort of. And the soccer pitch could have to do with old soccer. Like, either really old soccer, or maybe something like 1800 soccer. Anyways, and something I want to show you, there's a channel called, wait one second. I'll pull it up. GamesRadar. Now, GamesRadar talks about how, and I kind of went off of his theory, and yeah, I might be able to get the link in the description for his video. Yeah, I kind of like the way he did the video. Very good. He talks about how they only have to change the point of perspective and not the whole map, because now Tilted Towers will still be Tilted Towers, and we might still see a bit of the city, maybe like here, that much, and some of it is old. Like, it doesn't all have to be like, oh, okay, the whole map is changing into historic thing. Some of it could be history themed. Some of it could be how we see. So basically, saying, let's take a famous area that people are excited about. Well, I'm excited about anyways. Shifty Shafts. Shifty Shafts. Not all of it has to turn into like an underground railroad. Most of it, I think, should, because it seems like a good area for that. And this might be one of the areas that is more affected by the prehistoric history theme. So yeah, and yeah, it doesn't have to be completely like, okay, we're gonna change everything in the map, okay, and only leave like a few tiny little areas into that. So yeah, that's my video. As always, the video for well, pretty much I talked about that YouTuber. It'll be in the link in the description. And yeah, as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to become a part of the notification squad. Bye.